Good morning, Millennial Morticians. Thank you for joining me for another episode of this incredible podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Fowlkes, and I'm glad to be with you for another one. The title of today's episode is Time is of the Essence. Time is of the Essence. I was recently, apprenticing on a funeral with a licensed funeral director and embalmer, and the number one question that I found that I was answering or trying to figure out or had something tied to do with something else was, what time is it? What time is it? And time as a funeral director and embalmer is extremely important. We have to be on schedule because we are playing a game of chess and not checkers. And so every move we make has to be strategic and it has to be aligned to reaching our ultimate goal, which is to serve the family in a professional capacity. Um, and to relieve them of any stress and burdens that may come up that they don't have the emotional ability to handle at that moment. And so our timing has to be exact. And so when you see your office staff or people at the cemetery or people in other places always asking you, well, what time do you want to be here? Or what's your schedule looking like? It's so important that you have it straight and in line, because the last thing you need is to overburden yourself and have 10 things that need your full attention going on at the same time. So what you have to learn to do is space things out in an appropriate way where they're getting done in good timing, but they're also not putting too much of a burden on anyone, because life happens. People get sick, people get hurt sometimes, sadly. Um, and then this heat, sometimes people pass out, which is going to be a common thing this summer with all these heat waves going on across the country. And as you can see, we're always wearing black. And so those two things don't really mix well together. But you have to be able to monetize your time. And you do that not just by creating a great schedule, but creating a great mental space for yourself to understand that if I'm not here by A, B, and C, then this could happen. And so I find that when you're late to things, it triggers your brain to push things kind of further behind, like, I'll get to it later. It can wait. And we have to remember, we're in an industry where things can't wait. Anything, 9 times out of 10, the things that we need are things that we need right then and there in that moment of time. And so we can't risk having any mistakes, any errors, any gaps of us just doing nothing. This is one career field, one industry where every day, every hour counts for something. And us being in this business, we know that life has time restrictions, life has limits, and that time isn't permanent. And every day that you get to wake up is another day that you have another opportunity to maximize your time, your skills, and your energy to be productive in our field. And so when you have a day where, and it happens to all of us sometimes, where you didn't get everything that you wanted to get done in that day, you just have to say, I'm only human. I can do this. I have to pace myself. And once I either schedule more time later this afternoon or even tomorrow morning, I'm going to get it done. So once you just start believing in yourself and saying, I'm going to get it done, it's possible, it's doable, then that's when you start creating those pockets and those exercises of time. You could start off by setting your alarm clock to a certain time every morning, or having coffee at the same time every morning. So it's just creating those increments of spaces where there's a moment that you have to do the same thing you do every day. And you keep that moment in your schedule to give your brain the opportunity to say, okay, it's time to jot up. It's time to get started. It's time to get running, because these families need me to serve them at my maximum capacity. And I can be serving more than one family at a time. But I know if I follow my schedule and I can stick to my time schedule, I know that things can run smoothly and effectively for everyone involved in the funeral service. And that's what it's all about: serving people at your maximum capacity, giving them your best, your sharpest, and your brightest every day. Well, folks, I'm your host, Jaden Fowlkes. This is the Millennial Mortician podcast, the podcast that engraves. I hope your time is of the essence this week, that you maximize yourself, that you schedule yourself appropriately, and that you give yourself rest as needed. Stay cool out there. Let's look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.